opportunity to give a Dharma talk. Thank you, Joeng Hye, for inviting me to give this talk. Thank you, Alvidas, for being a Dharma master, and for Linus for this great place. So, yeah, I was saying to Joeng Hye that I should maybe speak Lithuanian, but since everyone understands English, then I could just speak English. It'll be faster, and then like people can give more questions if they want, like Alvida said. So this is my second Dharma talk. They asked me to do one in Poland, and I was like surprised. So now I'm here, and now I'm doing a multi-master job, and also doing a Dharma talk, and I'm like, what's going on? I didn't expect this to happen in my life, like just to be sitting here, in front of people giving speeches, and especially next to such a great person like Zen Master Joeng Hye. I think he's an amazing guy, Of course.
Oh yeah.
I just want to say quickly about myself that I've been practicing the Quantum School for about 4 years, like since 2020. So I was very curious about meditation, about life, what is going on, like what is this universe, like, what am I supposed to do here, like stuff like that, and then I read the Buddha's story, just his life story, and I was like inspired, like very curious, like was there really this guy that sat for like 6 years, and what happens really if you just sit, if you just watch yourself, does anything happen? So I was going to like these all different meditation groups in New York, in England, and then I was going to this Zen group, and they don't talk, they don't say anything, you just sit there, and they don't tell you to read like sutras and stuff, because before that I was reading a lot of Buddhism, like things like sutras, or like books about Buddhism, and then I got a lot of ideas, especially about the enlightenment stuff, this awakening, like what is that supposed to be? So I started out going to meditate, expecting to get something, and I think that's what everyone does. They just first read about, they find out that there's something like this practice, and then there's supposed to happen something to you. But also another motivation for me was to see what's gonna happen, and just, so yeah. So also been practicing then with, I was going to this Zen group, and then I saw another Zen group, Quantum School, so I was like, oh, I'll check this out, and since then I just got stuck with Quantum School. I was very confused with Lizzie Combs was the guiding teacher in New York, and I had an interview with her, and she said, we just keep don't know, and I was like, well, how am I supposed to not know anything? Like, I need to think, otherwise I might just, die, I don't know. But she said, the core teaching is don't know. So I was very surprised, because I read so much Buddhism stuff, and I got so many ideas, and I need to do this, I want that, and then she said, don't know. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I just kept going, because I was very curious, Even I had a lot of struggles in my life with addiction, so I spent about 14 years or 12 years, I don't even remember, like every 3 months or 2 months I've been drinking, smoking, cannabis, and playing games, like gaming. And it seemed like I always, been going back to do the same thing. I just couldn't snap out of it. It felt like, oh, that's it. I feel terrible. I don't want to do this. I want to like do something else. And then after 2 months, like this voice kept coming back, like saying stuff like, maybe just one day. You already have this. You know that you're good. You'll be fine. Just one more day. And then you do one more day, and then just same thing happens. So spend a lot of money just playing computer games, just being high and just not doing anything, not going to work, So yeah, it's not good because then you have to somehow get back on track and get the money back, work, get a job, get the money back and stuff like that. So I think I'm very fortunate that in England you can get away with these things actually a bit more easier because you also get paid. Things are more cheaper. You have more like social securities and stuff, and so you can get a signal easily from a doctor. I don't know how it's like in Lithuania because I left Lithuania when I was 18 years old, and I went to London, and then some of my family was living in York, so eventually I decided to move to York. And then just recently, when I went to Holland, I had my retreat. Then I went back, I started drinking again because I felt like I'll be fine. I don't know. It's just like there was no even excuse. I just did it, because I run out of all excuses. So, but then I didn't really want to continue, and also my teacher Lizzie said that you should go to Anonymous Alcoholics. So I went to that group, and I was amazed by their philosophy, the way they approach how do you sort yourself out, what's the point of this like Anonymous Alcoholic group? So people just go there and they just talk. Some people just don't say anything. You don't have to do anything. There is no obligations. You just go there and sit. And if you want to say something, you say something. So what I noticed first is that those people who start talking, they first listen and then they see that there is nothing wrong with opening yourself, to others. There's a lot of people, I think, are stuck in this, inside of their egos, and they don't want to let their opinion go. And I think that's what really stops them from like moving forward. Life is not just like being in one place and thinking, oh, I'm a cool guy, I have, I don't know, a lot of money, it's like temporary happiness, I don't think that is sustainable. So I felt very happy just going to AA group. I see people drop their egos and just opening up, and then they start to sound much more happy, and like they really sound like they're more free, So I think it's like that with our lives as well, that we just living our lives and just keeping it to ourselves and pretending that we are in control. So what people admit first is that you're not in control. So it's kind of similar with Buddhism as well, because when you sit down and you say, oh, I'm gonna meditate, let's say for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna not think about anything, and when you sit, you start to notice that things just come to your head, thoughts just come, and you don't really have any control over that. So I think that's the first thing that is very important to recognize, is that nobody is really have a full control of their lives. There's something in their head that really tells you what to do, and so I didn't believe that. I didn't believe what I'm saying now. I didn't believe this stuff before, before practice, but I realized that if I don't practice, then I'm not gonna figure out what's really going on inside of me. So I want to share a bit of Quantum School teaching. So there's this is not part of Quantum School Kongans actually, but there's a book called 100 Kongans, Women's Kongans and Stories. I think something like that. And there's one Kongan that's called Let It Be. So I don't know the full, I know the main story of Kongan. So it goes like this, that there was a disciple of this Zen master in China, 8th century. Unfortunately, I don't remember the master's name because of having had this addiction, and it really messed up my memory. So I need to read it again and restore my memory, you know. But the story goes like this. So this disciple of this Zen master asked, you know, I want to really understand what are you teaching, or what is enlightenment, or something like that, awakening, you know. And so the Zen master said, just whenever happens, say let it be, or just let it be, you know, and make this let it be like a, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, sich or dalgis in Lithuania. Dalgis. Dalgis? How is that in English? Yeah, it's hard to, like when you cut grass, you know, it's a long tool, and yeah, old school. So use let it be like that, you know, with everything.
Rusiškai vadinasi litovka.
Lithuanian.
Kosa.
Yeah, use it like kosa, you know. So what happened to her is that one day her house burned down, and she said, well, let it be. Then her child sang, like a paskendo? Drown in a lake. And then one of the witnesses went to tell her, and she said, let it be. And so she, you know, went it like that, let it be. And then one day she was preparing a meal, and she had a pan. She made a batter for this cakes, and she heated the oil. And when she put the batter in the pan, and she heard the sound of this drizzling of oil cooking, and she got enlightenment. Well, I don't like to say got enlightenment, just became enlightenment. And suddenly she dropped the pan on the floor, and she started dancing and laughing hysterically. And her husband said to her, "Are you crazy now? What's the matter with you? Like, what's wrong with you?" And she said, "Let it be."
No cake.
Yeah, I wonder if the husband understood. Maybe he got enlightenment. It doesn't say that in the context story. So yeah, I think life is like this, to be honest. I don't know what we're really looking for, but we don't seem to accept that life is like this. And if something bad happens, we can't make ourselves to say let it be, you know, just let it be. We try to fight that as if it's our worst enemy. And another thing about don't know, I think that Sun Sang, Zen Master Sun Sang, teaching don't know, who's there on the wall on the right hand side in this room, was very smart with don't know, because I don't think we really know anything. And as soon as we start to think about something, you know, how is this, or what does he think, or, you know, what's my meaning, and why is this universe here, and blah blah blah, stuff like that, you know, he said just keep don't know, because you don't really know, so there's no real point in speculating about what is going on, you know. So because of this speculation, we don't believe in ourselves, you know, we don't believe that, you know, there's a river flowing, the grass is green, don't know what else you want to know. what else you need. Or in other words, I can say like this, it's more like maybe a joke or not, but you know, God gave you, like, let's say God makes humans and he gives them free will. Then this human looks up and says, God help me. You know, and God looks and thinks, you know, I just give you free will. Don't know what else you want. Yeah. But this is what practice does. That you just do practice, but you, from my personal experience, I think that you need to, you know, be curious about this, you know, because it's no point to go and sit and just feel good after, you know, like you did some good exercise, you know. But this curiosity about the whole, this reality, universe, humans, grass, whatever you call it, it's just amazing, you know. It's like, what is going on? What are you looking for? Don't know. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ignas. It was very beautiful speech. Yeah. So
It's hard.
thank you very much. So now it's my turn, but I'm a little bit ashamed, you know, sitting by the side of such a great person.
No, you!
You know, that's really wonderful that you are here, you know. Did you have a connection with Lithuanian Sangha before?
No,
Not so much.
I was very nervous.
Yeah, no? Yeah. Yeah. So he spent many years in New York, and I met him in Palenica, and I recommended him our retreat here. So in fact, you know, it's a little bit my job, you know. I found him and brought him here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would come here if you didn't ask for me. You know.
Yeah.
I spent all my money, so I was like,
Good missionary.
thank you.
Yeah, so, but I'm so happy. It's high time to meet your mother Sangha, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was great speech. So now, it's your turn. You speak. Any question from you?
To Ignas?
Mm.
You mean, or just general?
General, yes. Any question from you? Not from Ignas, if you have also, please.
Questions for them.
Questions from you, not for Fred.
So came to conclusion, so we will never find the answers what is university about. Why the river is here, why the grass is green, not blue. So the sad news for me, so we should not look for answers because we will never find them. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. This is like,
Why do you know everything? Why do you want to know everything about universe? Is it useful?
It's good and bad. Good is because I feel some release. Oh, okay, so we never find an answer. Yeah, sure, so we don't need to look for answers. So just
So what the question? Can you summarize your speech in some question?
it's a bit like sad, you know.
Sad.
Yeah, because we never find answers.
You know, to know everything means big headache. Don't know means no headache.
I have aspirin.
Big aspirin.
But what?
No, that aspirin he got
Aspirin.
will not help for
Yeah,
this.
so you will become addicted to aspirin, you
So
know,
this is
any
why
kind
I
of
use-
addiction, you
So
know.
this is why I use aspirin a lot.
You know, maybe you don't, you are new in Buddhism, in fact, yeah?
Well,
But
I'm new in town.
but Ignas said something important, okay, about this don't know, because don't know is the essence of our practice here. But don't know is not state of confusion. It's not state of wanting to know something. It's not a state of lack of knowledge. Okay? Don't know means the very heart of our practice is don't know, because the very heart of our practice is experience. Okay? That's the meaning. It doesn't mean that Buddha's scriptures are completely useless and we can throw them away. You can throw them away, but before you throw them away, maybe it's good to study them a little bit. Because in Zen especially, we study mind.
So
Okay.
should we read the books or not? Should we read the books? Like
If
Ignas
you
said.
like, read.
It's about it.
Yeah, but we have many examples in Zen tradition, like Sixth Patriarch, for example, who was, as tradition says, illiterate. So he couldn't even read any word, any letter. Okay, but anyway, he got deep enlightenment. In Zen we don't study scriptures so much, but some scriptures can help us study mind. Okay, yeah. So don't know means that we does not mean that the Buddha's teaching and Zen traditions. In fact, Zen has very, very, very rich literature, a lot. Okay, so we have all these famous teachings from old Zen masters in Tang dynasty. We have all translated to inspire ourselves. But the problem with this is that if we attach so much, if we are satisfied with reading and understanding, we will never find the essence of Buddha's message. Buddha's message is to experience something.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
read endless, 100
You-
years to read and nothing
Do
will
you
happen.
think the Buddha was studying any kind of Buddhist scriptures?
Probably not.
So how could he got enlightenment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the point. Okay. So first was practice, then was enlightenment, then some scriptures appeared. Okay, to help people to from the other side to attain, to experience what he experienced. But
Can we put
but you know, let's not discuss. Okay. So if you please don't break me. Okay. But if you have some questions, then wait a little bit. Okay, so there is a famous story in Buddhism when some, I would say, scientist or some philosopher started to ask Buddha about the nature of universe. What is the beginning of universe? Will universe will have the end? Is there any soul which exists apart from body and after body dies? Is there any God, creator of the universe? What is the meaning of all of this? So Buddha said, it is very famous story. Buddha said, you are like a person who is wounded by arrow. I want to take this arrow out of your body, but you say no. I will not let you do it. I will not let you do it until you answer all my questions. Who shot this arrow? What kind of wood was used to make this arrow? What kind of bird? You know how to say this?
Feathers.
Feathers, yes. What kind of feathers were used to make this? What kind of metal was used to make this blade? What kind of poison was used to poison this arrow? Before I answer all your questions, you will die. Okay? So Buddhism means don't waste your time for useless things. Okay, that's why at the essence, at the very center of Buddhist teaching is always practice, always experience, and he showed this by his example. Okay, so the final stage, which preceded his enlightenment, was deep meditation. He woke up to his true nature, not out of reading, okay, but of deep questioning, what is this? Okay?
Who I am.
Yes, or who I am. Who I am, what is this? What is the meaning? So this is so very important in Zen is to ask yourself the question which can completely block your thinking. Completely block your thinking. Because as long as you can Google the answer, okay, yeah, so you will not be satisfied. Maybe you will have understanding, but not experience. But what a question without answer brings you? It brings you what he said, don't know. But don't know, as I said, is not state of confusion, is not state of lack of knowledge. It is state of very, very sharp intuition. Okay? So when you you said that we are asking about what is that's wonderful to ask what is the meaning of the universe, what is this, what is this, what is this. Why it is wonderful? Because when you really attain what in Zen is called great doubt or great question, this is the first state of awakening. The question really wakes you up, okay? Your attention is awakened. When you really don't know, your mind is really sharpened and ready, okay? And then putting the palm on the floor, okay, can make something, okay? Listening to the bird can make something. Listening to a river flowing, okay? Listening to seeing, I don't know, maybe whatever, okay? Palm on the floor, leaf falling on the ground, you know, whatever. Because your mind is ready. So this is completely unconceptual, not intellectual cognition, okay? So this unconceptual cognition is what Zen is all about. This unconceptual cognition is like, I can explain you for a long time what is the taste of this tea here. Okay? I can do it maybe for an hour. Am I eloquent enough? Okay, maybe I will lack words at some point and say, okay. But if I'm eloquent, I'm poet, for example, maybe knowing something about planting tea, taking care of tea, about some chemistry of water, of connection between these leaves and water. I can talk you long, you can write it, but you will still don't know. But one thing can really solve all your your hesitation and your need. Just sip of tea. Okay? And he said, okay, your whole knowledge, your whole explanation is completely useless, you know. I don't care about it. My own experience is better than your 2 hours lecture.
So instead of asking outside question, ask who I am.
Yeah. Yes, ask who I am. So this question, as I told you, wakes up big attention. Okay. For example, I sometimes use this example. When you go with your friends in the night, yeah, and look at the sky, full of stars, and suddenly you see the satellite moving.
Yeah.
And you say, you tell your friend, can you see this satellite? Or your friend tells you, can you see this satellite? And you look, okay? But you don't see it.
Yeah.
But what's going on? You have big question. The question does not mean words. The question means the awakened state of mind which is looking very closely. And I will tell you more. Seeing satellite is not the most important. The most important is this awakened attention, because the awakened attention melts completely the barrier between subject and object, here and there. In this total attention, swallowing the whole universe, swallowing you, swallowing all possible satellites, you attain this realization, okay? Then when you can see the satellite, oh, I can see it, okay? But this is not the most important point. That's why, as we were talking with Alvidas, who likes Ramana Maharishi teaching very much, who also used the question, the approach of questioning. And this Ramana Maharishi said very important. The question is not to bring you answer. The question is to dissolve questioner. The person
Who is asking?
Yes, yeah. This big question dissolves. So when you become really this great questioning mind, awakened, deeply looking, you dissolve this barrier, subject and object. Because the biggest hindrance to experience your original mind is ego, okay? Ego is, how to say, in English, usurpator. Somebody, yeah, occupant, okay? Somebody who occupies. You know, so ego steals your original clarity of mind and makes, you know, something, it is like water which is frozen, okay? Yeah, it is frozen. It takes this free space and makes some artificial construction. And you know, this artificial construction, which is ego, is the most important and most severe reason of suffering. You know, suffering itself, sorry, excuse me, suffering itself is not, it's not big problem. The problem is ego who suffers. I will tell you one story. There is one guy in Poland, young practitioner, who, dedicated, but with some breaks, you know. He wants to practice, but at the same time, he broke some relationship with girlfriend. Then he found new girlfriend. Then he came back to practice. Then he returned to his home city to meet his girlfriend. You know, so you know, as you know, this is young age, okay? So we are so fortunate here, yeah. You know, and he called me. You know, he has very good intuition, Dharma intuition. I think he's kind of talent in Dharma. So if he will not spoil it, there will be something in the future. But he called me one evening and said, Sansanim, I must talk to you. I must talk to you. You know, I experienced something completely no ego state of mind. No ego. There was no I completely. You know, I was talking to my girlfriend. And you know, at some point, so big amount of suffering appeared that I started to completely cry. I was completely in despair. It was so painful. But can you imagine? There was no I completely in this experience. And now I'm missing this moment. Can you realize? It's crazy. He was missing suffering. He was missing suffering because, you know, suffering was suffering was only a condition. But you know, this essence of no ego was so deep, so awakening that he missed suffering. You know, yeah. So suffering is no problem, okay? When you are completely 100%. But the problem is ego, because when you have no ego and you're suffering, so this suffering is like arrow going through the empty sky, like lightning. So this sky does not keep this arrow, okay? It does not keep this lightning. But the ego immediately grasps it, okay? Grasps it and make it content, okay? Contains everything, gathers everything, you know, success, failure, hatred, desire, you know, I have this, I like this, I don't like this, and this life is very heavy burden, okay? That's why when you sit in meditation, I sometimes see people and your body becomes like, okay, means that the ego takes over control because it is very heavy. So which means thinking appears, emotion appears, dark states of mind appears, because ego pours over your unstained mind its content. Okay? Yeah. So so that's why when you have question, you know, when you have a big question, what am I? It dissolves, you know, this ego. Okay, slowly it is dissolved. Okay,
So it takes time.
I can, yes, it takes time. So this is paradox of questioning mind. So I, in my reading, in Tibetan book, great Tibetan book of liberation, probably Book of Mahamudra. There is interesting saying, but be careful, okay? Because originally there is no two things like doer and doing. There is no two things like doer and doing. The highest fruit is attained when the doer is looked for, but is never found. Can you imagine? No, it's simple. It's exactly what Huadu is all about. Okay, there is no originally Dharma said that there is no such two things like doing and doer. This I do something. There is no. So when you are looking for this doer, who am I? You know, you cannot find it. But in this work, the highest fruit is realized, which means non-duality. Okay? Okay. So we are looking for who am I to have some impression that we can find somebody, but cannot. But we find something else. Yeah, something essential. Mm-hmm. Leo?
The question goes more to introduction, a little bit introduction for meditation. Let's title it that way.
Introduction to meditation.
Yeah, some kind of direction of my question. Ignas was?
Ignas, yes.
Ignas mentioned before in the story Let It Be. You mentioned also the soul thing of the ego.
In questioning mind.
Questioning mind.
Yes.
What about if for meditation, is it now meditation just relaxing and just let it be and just let it go?
Yeah, that's
So
good.
if a beginner comes, what is meditation? Just let it be and just relax and sit down and let it be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's important question. Okay, so before you are ready to let it be, to let it go everything, okay, it's necessary some training. Even in ancient teaching, such teachers like Huang Po, for example, and others used the notion, use the word the mind control practice. Mind control practice. Okay? So if you want to tame the horse, the wild horse, if you say, let it be, let it go, so you will never find it, okay? Okay, so you will find yourself chasing the horse. Of course, in vain, because it's much faster. So first you must use some techniques to tame the horse. Then slowly you and horse can know each other better, and then you can become friends. And then you can sit on the horse, and then you can say, let it be, my friend. Let's go.
Like the Oxford? Like Oxfording? Oxfording, the temptation.
Oxfording pictures, yes, Oxfording pictures tells also about it. So let it be, no, of course, no, it's a very important question. So thank you, Leo, because I'm talking to somebody during interview about it, that be completely spontaneous, and let it be, you must be skillful driver, or in my comparison, musician, okay? For example, I love jazz music. I love jazz music, and can you imagine somebody who doesn't know anything about piano and hears some improvisation by, let's say, Keith Jarrett, and say, I can do the same. How do you like it? Okay, so it's horrible, the hall is empty. Everybody, left. Okay, so be a good improviser and simply let it be your imagination connected with your fingers and knowledge of the art. You must train yourself. You must know the instrument, you must know yourself, you must know the connection between you, you must play notes, okay? You can play Chopin, Mozart or something, and then one day you can say, okay, maybe it's time to express myself in more free way, okay? Yeah. So I remember Keith Jarrett was describing his biography, and he was 5 years old or 6 years old. He was already a good player and playing Mozart and Chopin and preparing to some concerts, some exams, and but he had temptation to improvise. And the mother, who was in the other room, said, "Oh, Keith, what are you playing? This is not what you should play." And Keith used to answer, "Okay, mommy, don't worry. During concert I will be play. During exam I will be playing normally. Okay." But he had this temptation to improvise, to let it be, let it go. But at the time he was very skillful player. So the same, we have meditation. In fact, in its essence, is no meditation. Okay, meditation is no meditation, which means that meditation originally leads you is the self-consuming practice. Meditation is self-consuming practice. Okay, so the technique of meditation, the idea of meditation, is completely burned and consumed, and you direct experience of natural state of mind, which is our original mind. But before you really start to express it, before you let yourself to be guided by this speechless, formless experience of this original clarity, stillness and light, you must use some techniques and be very, very consistent in using them. Okay? That's why I usually emphasize correct meditation in technical way, okay? Because we must find the tool, okay? We must find the cart, the vehicle which takes us to this place of bliss, clarity, stillness, and our, natural state of mind. Yeah. So then let it be is possible. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But according I think to Ignas' speech, let it be has some other meaning, which means that part of our training is not to impose reality so much, our desires, our despair, our expectations, about our constant correcting everything according to what we want to see and experience. Okay, just let it be means be open. From the very beginning, we should learn to see and reflect things just as they are. Okay? When from the very beginning, we give priority to this mirror mind. So when pain comes, pain. Okay? When joy comes, joy. When gain comes, just gain. When loss comes, just loss. Okay, so let it be, which means, yeah, you can swim in the river, but swimming in the river means that the forces are divided into half. Okay, okay, a little bit of also all your effort, but the other half is to trust the river and use the power which the river brings you. This approach is called Wu Wei, yeah, in Chinese. Yeah, your daughter-in-law is Chinese, so it's correct pronunciation. Wu Wei.
Wu Wei.
Wu Wei.
Wu
Wei. Wu Wei. Okay, so yeah, so I think you know, so let it be just let it be just means time of formal training, do strict training. It doesn't, when everybody is sitting, you cannot, okay, let it be. Okay? Because it is not let it be. Let it be means perceiving correct situation, relationship and function. So when sitting time, just sit. When resting time, just rest. You know, and so on. Okay, we know this kind of speech. So this is let it be. But the more we practice, the more the less is a meditation and the more is ourselves, because finally meditation does not lead to that you stop practicing meditation, you practice yourself, which means that you and meditation are not two opposite things. I do meditation, you become meditation, okay? So finally you are practicing yourself, okay? So it's very important, you know, it's very important to practice and to impose on ourselves some kind of training. So Buddha said it is the right effort, right effort. Right effort, which means keep your mind in the middle, okay? Too much effort, it's mistake. Too much relax means being lazy. So too much effort, too much lazy means that you lose middle way. Okay, so always keep this middle way. So during sitting meditation, we are usually persecuted by two states of hindrances: sleeping, laziness, like frozen state. You know, we have no thinking. No thinking, because even thinking is lazy. It's usually we are sleeping, okay? But the other side, the other mistake, the other enemy is restlessness, completely playing with your thoughts, okay? Agitation, okay? So Zen Master Chinul Pojo said, you must conquer your laziness with prajna, your sleepiness. You must conquer your restlessness with samadhi. That's why we have these two aspects of meditation. You know, being calm, still, unmoving, okay? And it is the medicine for agitation. But clarity and seeing everything just as it is, very awakened state of mind, clear seeing, clear hearing, clear sitting, you know, being erected on your cushion is prajna, okay? It's clear seeing is the tool to conquer your laziness, okay? So we should keep this sharp mind, okay? Sharp mind means prajna, calm mind means samadhi. When you meet, when this sharpness and this calmness meet together and melt into one quality, you have good meditation. So try this.
I want to ask about the five senses that was in between and how to call
Five
some.
senses.
Yes, like this. It should be seeing, touching, hearing. In that Lithuanian, I don't know its good translation, but there is empty and there is no sight, no touching, no tongue, no ears. So how to understand that? Because I thought to have sharp mind, you have to like master those.
Yes.
And it's like no eyes, no ear. So how to understand that? How to use it?
Okay, so it gives me a little bit difficult task to explain you the meaning of Heart Sutra,
Just silence.
which is not so easy, okay? But Heart Sutra is teaching about emptiness. So emptiness means that from one side, emptiness means that nothing exists by itself, but everything should be supported by everything else. Okay? For example, when I have this watch, okay, you can call this watch, but I can remove all these parts and put it here. Okay, all parts which make this watch. Can you still call this the watch? Yeah. No. Yes. And then when I put everything together again, so you will say, oh, the watch appeared. But in fact, all these ingredients, all these parts were always here. So this is the most important part of teaching of emptiness. This is dependent origination. Everything is consistent of factors, conditions, which are going to, interplay with each other and make something like seeing, hearing, everything. Yeah. But to tell you, so when Heart Sutra decomposes everything. Okay, Heart Sutra decomposes everything. It says no eye, no ear, no smell, but also says no seeing object, no hearing object, no consciousness of seeing, no consciousness of hearing. Which means so when this, for example, seeing eye, seeing object, and consciousness, which combines everything, must exist to appear something. Okay? When one of these elements is not present, the visual world does not exist. Okay? Which means that all these things are empty. Okay? I is no I without the object of I. Okay? Consciousness of seeing is not consciousness of seeing if there is nothing to see and no eye to see. Okay, all these things. So in this case, in Buddhism we say 6 senses, because thinking and perceiving mind object is also considered a sense. So in this case, we have 18 realms of shunyata. 6 times 3. Okay, that's why Heart Sutra says, Heart Sutra is teaching about emptiness and original not existing as separate things. All these things. Why? Because Heart Sutra hits very strongly attachment to name and form. Because human beings suffer for two reasons. Attachment to I, my, me, and attachment to name and form. Okay? And following this, because of this, in Buddhism it is said about 3 turning of Dharma wheel. Yeah? Did you read it?
I haven't read it.
Okay, because you said yes, so that you are well versed in these things. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah. So the first turning of wheel shows the emptiness of self, I, my, me. Okay, and this is the teaching of 5 skandhas, as we have in the beginning of Heart Sutra. Okay? Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara perceives the emptiness of 5 skandhas and attains liberation. Because he discovers, oh, there is no self, there is no 5 skandhas. Form, perception, feelings, impulses, consciousness. Okay? But where is I? Oh, no I. Okay, so no problem. Okay, so it receives the freedom from suffering. Okay, so this is the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. But the second wheel, which is typical of Mahayana teaching, is the emptiness of the world of name and form. So the second turning of the wheel expands the teaching of emptiness. Not only I is empty, but the whole world of name and form is empty. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to be academic. I can tell you about the third turning of the wheel of Dharma, which in fact is very important, because so the third turning of the wheel of Dharma is the teaching in which all contemplative and meditation tradition are rooted, like Zen, Dzogchen, Mahamudra, Tibetan Buddhism, because in the third turning of the wheel, it is said that emptiness is not just nihilistic emptiness. Nothing exists, then what? Okay, let's go to the bar, okay, and spend the rest of our life, you know, in the most pleasant way we can. No, the third turning says that this emptiness is not nihilistic emptiness. It is original Buddha nature. This one pure shining thing, which is endowed, in which sentient beings are endowed. Okay, that's important. So this teaching introduces a little bit positive aspect. So Christian would be very happy at this moment because this is similar to God. Okay, so that's why some Christian priests became interested in Zen, because it is some, you know, if you don't understand Buddhism very well, you can say that Buddhism is nihilistic. But the third turning of the wheel of Dharma tells you clearly that this is not emptiness in the sense that there is completely nothing and this is, you know, nihilistic space. That originally there is one pure clear thing which is shiny like the sky. And this is very good also reference, good comparison, because our famous poem, Coming Empty-Handed, Going Empty-Handed, is teaching about two aspects of emptiness. So first, the light is like a cloud which appears. The death is like a cloud which disappears from the sky. The cloud originally does not exist. Yes, and this is the teaching of this emptiness of self-nature, which means that cloud has no existence. It is appearing, disappearing, changing, changing, changing. Nothing is real. You cannot catch anything in the existence of the cloud. So, you know, in fact, everything is empty like this cloud, including our life. But this poem makes one step more into this third turning of the wheel and says, but there is one and pure and clear thing which does not appear, does not disappear, and it is independent on life and death. And this poem is ended by the question, what is this one and pure? Something, clear, okay? So this poem does not give you any conception, any definition. This poem leaves you with question, and on this question, you build your meditation train. You should put this question on the tip of your nose. Let it, this question permeate your body and mind, totality of your existence. Then this question, when it is digested and practiced, finally bring you some direct experience of this bright, pure, happy and clear thing. Okay? Which is not dependent on coming and going, eyes, ears, seeing, hearing. Okay? So the famous poem says, before ancient Buddhas appeared in this world, everything was clear, round and pure. Okay? So, appearing, disappearing, eyes, no eyes, you know, but this one pure, clear thing is never separated from your hearing, seeing, but it is independent. Okay? Okay? When your eyes are closed at the moment of death, this thing will not die. When your eyes were open at the moment of birth, you know, this thing was not born, but was also in harmony with this, okay? Yeah. It has no hindrance. It is infinite in time and space, okay? It is the deepest and most essential teaching in Zen.
But is it a thing? Because it's a bit confusing to call it a thing, right?
Yeah, it's confusing to call this thing.
Because
that's why
like other things.
Also very confusing is the Sansanim used to call substance. This is your original
Yes,
substance, your body substance,
Yes.
cloud substance, you know, the sky also. And some schools of Buddhism, when hearing our teaching, says no, it is heretic. Because in Buddhism there is no substance. But fortunately the Sansanim used to correct himself always, but the substance is empty. But in fact, this is not only the Sansaim's teaching, you know, in Chinese original, very, very old Zen also, there is distinction between substance and function. Substance and function. But substance, you know, it depends on what you mean by substance. There are a lot of misunderstanding concerning also emptiness, you know. When Westerners started to hear about emptiness, that in Buddhism there is emptiness, the final truth, absolute truth, says that no, this is not religion, this is nihilistic view. Okay? Yeah. So Hare Krishna people hate Buddhists because they don't teach about God, highest God, but teach about some emptiness, you know. But this is very subtle teaching. The same with substance. Substance, I stopped using even sometimes. I forget because this is a habit, but I said there is something. No, there is one thing not depending on life. There is something which is not dependent on life and death. Maybe it's better, because for sure it is not thing in the sense like this, okay? And not substance in the sense that you can rub everything into powder and then make everything, and this powder is substance. No, of course. So yeah, but for the sake of teaching, we use many mistakes. So don't attach to my speech.
But probably that's why sound is so important, yes? Because why the sound is so important, especially sound in our school, yeah? Because of all these.
Yes.
Then you don't need to describe it, just.
Yeah. Then, in fact, I talked to you about some Buddhist philosophy and some teaching, which is, I was always attracted intellectually to these speculations and how wonderful it is, everything combined. So Buddhism explains everything, and I can tell you a lot about it. But of course, this is not what Zen is all about. Okay, this is not what Zen is all about. As you said, sometimes shouting is better than explanation. That's why.
Always.
That's why.
Especially to your wife.
Okay, so let's shout and go away. Okay, so that's why Zen Master, when somebody asks Zen Master Lin Chi, what is this final truth or absolute truth? Or what is this one pure clear thing? He only to hit student mind, to stop his thinking, to break his brain. So Lin Chi said, the roar of lion, explodes the brain of shakal. Shakal is kind of yeah.
We all know.
Yes, the ryk lwa rozszarpuje mózg szakala. Okay? Makes it, So which means this shakal, I don't know English word, but it's kind of wolf,
Yeah.
Jackal, I guess. Jackal, no?
Jackal. It's a little bit similar to here.
Jackal.
Beautiful animal.
Not beautiful animal, but still, once in a while.
God creature.
But
God creature.
It symbolizes ignorance, okay? And roar of lion is proclamation of dharma, of truth. So, cut! And this ignorance, jackal, is okay? Yeah. So when somebody asks Zen Master Kuji, what is this one pure thing? He only I was not sure. Maybe it was
For Americans, would be white.
And when somebody asks the Master Doksan, what is this one pure clear thing? He immediately hit the student with the stick. But sometimes student appeared in the door without opening mouth and immediately received the hit and was surprised. Master, why did you hit me? I didn't say anything. So Doksan said, I'm not going to wait until you spoil this with your stupid speech. Okay, so he didn't wait. Didn't wait on already hit. So this is the point when as you said, don't know is born. Okay, this is always priority, superiority of don't know in Zen. Okay, so we can talk a lot because we have a lot. Some of them have this intellectual hunger, at least a little bit understanding. At least we cannot live without a little bit understanding. This is okay because let's be honest. All these great Zen masters, usually well versed in sutras, and some of them were great philosophers of Huayan, for example. A lot of teachers, were masters of Huayan and Zen, but it doesn't mean that in Zen this kind of teaching is not important. But you must know what is most important. We should give superiority to don't know. It is not conceptual cognition. Because only through this non-conceptual cognition you can see your true nature. The famous Zen master Sosan Tesa wrote Gata at the end of his famous book, you know, probably, and many people, I think, this Mirror of Zen by Sosan Tesa. This sacred radiance of your original nature never darkens. The sacred radiance of your original nature never darkens. It has shined forth since beginningless time. Do you want to know the gate which leads to this? Don't give rise to conceptual thinking. And this is Zen. Okay? This is Zen. This sacred radiance, which is never darkens, which always shines, can be only seen when you don't give rise to conceptual thinking. So in Zen Master Seung San language, go on straight, don't know. Okay? Yeah. So non-conceptual cognition is the gate through which you can really experience. Okay? Yeah. But of course, if you practice Buddhism, if you want to, you know, focus your direction, something like a little bit understanding is useful. That's why such lectures, you know, on condition it is good. I'm not sure about it. But such lectures like these and some teachings from the Zen masters is very useful. It is like creating a correct view, the right view, okay? So the right view. Yeah. More questions?
I had kind of, I really enjoyed the discourse that we had this time, with going a little bit into theory, and I had kind of a conceptual question about like how non-duality explains like the free will, which Ignas brought today. This is a joke. Maybe I'll skip that
free
question.
will, you know, the God gave free will, but there is no God in Buddhism. So this question is irrelevant.
So no free will.
Yeah, that's why I have a more practical one.
Yeah,
Why do
free
we
will.
have to wake up at 4:30, like not 5:30, for example?
Free will means steer wheel in your hands. Okay? Steer wheel, okay? Which means free will. Who is the driver? That's, you know, when you only repeat your blind patterns of karma, there is no free will. You know, of course, scientific discourse, is there free will or not, is completely open, you know. But according to, so let's not be so scientific, because we will go nowhere, I hope, I suppose. But you know, we are talking about our true nature, which is also the radiation of original wisdom. Everybody. It was the main message of Buddha. Every human being has this wisdom inbuilt, inborn, okay? But because they don't know it, they follow blindly their patterns, creating more and more and more layers of suffering. They try to cure suffering, producing more suffering. Okay, so that's why Dharma practice means that finally we must cut this chain of nonsense. Cut this chain of nonsense. Stop and see what is the trap. Okay, so how is it possible that you go the same way, maybe 100 times and still fall into the same hole in the road. Yeah, still, oh yes, I'm again here in this shit, okay? So when you really fall into this hole for the 100th time, you know, maybe you will say, okay, where is my mistake? Maybe I lose something. And I'm not aware of my automatic repeated patterns, okay? And you stop and look, and this is the beginning of enlightenment. This is the beginning of awareness. So blindness is wyparte, jak to powiedzieć, wyparte, coś jest wyparte przez coś. Is pushed away by,
Yeah,
by
pushed away.
pushed away. She's skillful in Polish. That's why she's my consultant. So slowly, you know, this darkness is pushed away, replaced by clarity and light. Okay, that's the turning point, and then you start to live your life more consciously. You still have some fate or I don't know, karma, okay? Because it is like standing on the platform and the trains are coming to different cities, to Warsaw, to Vilnius, to Wrocław, to Berlin, to Amsterdam, to Vienna also, you know, and you are not the owner of this company, so you have no influence. Trains are coming and going, so at this point you have no choice. They come. But where is the point of your choice? Go into the train or not? At this point you start to have free will. At this point you start to act consciously. You fall to the trap or not. The more you are aware, the more are you awakened, the more you are free from blind impulses, the more you can control your life. Okay? Of course, the train with death will come. Okay? And we have no choice. You cannot stop. Okay? So your parents will die. Okay? Maybe, you know, many things can come because you are born. Okay? But your taking into this train, being attached, being harmed, being blinded by the circumstances, is not so obvious at the moment. Okay? You start to be free from coming and going. So Zen is not about stopping coming and going. Zen is not about not being attached to coming and going, and appearing and disappearing. And the next step, if you are not attached, you can know how to use it wisely. Okay? So from that perspective, suffering is big teaching. Joy is big teaching. Gain is big teaching. Loss is big teaching. Life and death starts to be big teaching for us. Okay? So at this aspect can be awakened through practice. Okay? So the Sansan used to use some simple comparisons. Do you know this backseat driver comparison? Yeah. So when you had the car, okay, very good, you know, good mark, good brand, and you are a good driver, and you are sitting, but you invited your mother-in-law, okay, on the back seat, and you know, she behaves in such a way that you completely lose your pleasure of driving the car. He says, no, you are driving too fast. No, you are so bad driver, you should overtake this car, but you are like this old lady, you know, you are traveling like old lady. No, you should turn left, don't turn right. No, you should turn left. Okay? So if you follow blindly these instructions, you lose control on your car. This is your grandmother's car. Okay? So when your center is strong and your practice is clear, you can have the courage. Mommy, please, shut up. Okay?
Or let it be.
Okay? Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah, you have choice. You said, that's what he said. You can say shut up, but you can say let it be. So it's your choice. you means that you have free will. You can be bodhisattva. Oh, mommy, I will do everything for you. Do you want me to crash our car against this tree? Okay. So if you are free, you can give or take away, according to our saying. You know, you are free to give or take away, to kill or give life. You know, which means let it be. It depends on what your wisdom and compassion tell you at the moment. Yeah.
But I think Vytautas' question was why we have to wake up so early.
Excuse me?
Why do we have to wake up so early?
Why we have to wake up so early?
Yeah, that was Vytautas'
Keep don't know.
Yeah, that's second
But
question.
here on the retreat,
Thank you.
Yeah.
it's early.
1 hour earlier for me. I mean, everybody, please.
You know, but it depends. For some people early, for some people too late. Who knows? We just wake up at 4:30.
Is it with sunrise or is it with sunrise or because
It
why
doesn't
not 5:30?
matter. No, we just wake up early. You know.
If it would be winter, we will also.
This is very
But
good.
yeah, all practices they do that. And
Yeah,
all
yeah.
yogis they do that because that considers to be the most precious time.
Yes.
Couple
this is
hours
the most
before the
favorable.
yeah, sunrise,
Favorable
but
time.
of course it changes because of the time of the year, but still.
Yeah. So in Korea they wake up at 3.
3 something, 3:30 I guess.
3:30.
But then they sleep
In
all the time.
fact, I wake up at 3:30 because in Polish time there is 3:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said
same.
3:30. You know, I just my, you know. So yeah, so I wake up early, 1 hour earlier than you. Yeah. According to my biological watch.
Can I ask a question? Small. The dreams. Can I have dreams? Because when we talk about the train and mother-in-law behind, it's like always negative. Like we always say, the voice in my head is always negative. Okay, so can we have some positive talking? I have not.
Positive
Maybe
talking.
others. So
Positive talking.
yeah, inside my head, I always hear
Of
some
course.
negative.
Of
All
course.
the shit. Yeah.
Of course.
And so the positive, could we have positive, but probably called dreams? Yeah, or I want to make, here another temple,
Of course. Of
So,
course.
Is it any positive voice in heaven?
Absolutely yes.
Or after enlightenment?
Absolutely yes. When your motivation and direction of bodhisattva is awakened, you will have more positive, which means positive in not way good and bad, but your life, your thinking, your activity, your function will serve more other people. Okay.
Enjoying the life, like
Yeah.
what to enjoy.
Yeah.
Nothing
So-
positive in that. He wants to be a competitor of mine. He wants to build a new technology. What is positive? For him, maybe it's positive. He will become competitor.
Yeah. Can be. So that's why we should always ask when you want to do something for somebody else. So ask, which means listen if this person really wants to have this. Yeah.
And 2 words to Ignas, I want to make it.
Yeah. So my favorite joke about is like there was the meeting of harcerze, scouts.
Scouts, yeah.
Scouts, you know, and they were trained to be good people. Okay, so the leader of them once instructed them, you, my young friends, I give you a task. So during a few days, we are meeting in a few days, so during the time, do something good for others. Okay? And you know, so they did something, you know, and they met after a few days, and this leader asked, you know, particular boys and girls about what they were doing, and at one point she asked Small John. In Poland we say there is a lot of jokes about Jasio, which means Small John. Saying, and you, Small John, what did you do? Did you do anything good? And he said, yes. Me and my friend helped the elderly woman cross the street. And the leader said, oh, that's wonderful, but started with, but why did you do it with your friend? Because she resisted. Okay, so let's be careful with saving this world from suffering.
May I ask?
That's why Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is Bodhisattva of listening. It's very important. Listening. So when listening the voice of the world, also, you know. So listening is very important. So when you really want to listen, you must switch off the noise, the background noise. The background noise is always, I want this, I think this is good, I think this is bad. I think it will be good for him, okay? Or talking with him, you know, this background noise stops you, makes you unable to hear, to listen to real needs of other beings, okay? So switch off the background noise. Meditation is the best to do it. Submerge yourself in original silence. And then your mind becomes very sharp, which means it's transformed into wisdom and compassion. Then listen. What you really want? Oh, elderly woman, want you to cross the street? No, thank you. Okay. But Small John didn't have this mind, you know. He already strong voice inside. This woman, you know, wants to cross the street. So we can act for sure. So, you know, my, I don't know, Andrew, for example. Let's help her.
Andrew.
Okay. More questions?
Yeah, it's not like a question, but I think this it's even more deeper and more important than this free will exists or not, because we don't really know if it exists. I have to admit that I'm not sure that
free will
getting into the train or choosing to get in or not to get in or to which train really because you know just recently I've been with some scientists biochemical and neuroscientists. So recently by their very interesting experiments what they do, they come to a conclusion that there is no, on the very primary basis, on the molecules and stuff like that, this is what we want to think that we have free will, because psychologically we feel better. Because it depends on...
You know, it depends on scientists, of course.
Yeah.
They didn't solve the difficult problem of consciousness still. So this question is unsolved.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know, but I think this don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go crazy, really crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And now these scientists that found out, so to speak, that the evidence that we don't have free will, now they are so frightened that scientist told me that they are looking for something else that would prove that we have will. You know, they're desperately financing that stuff.
Yeah, you know.
May I add something to this?
Yeah.
This, I read or heard some explanation to this question about. I want your opinion. Is it accurate? Like asking if I have free will makes no point at all, because like this I, like ego, is imagined character, fake character. So it's like asking if Santa Claus has free will. Like, well,
Yes.
does not apply.
Sexual life of elves.
Yeah.
Of Rasmussen.
That's it.
So let's study this.
So you think it's
What is the favorite month for reproduction for elves? You know? Yeah, no, it's like this Saint Thomas from Aquin. Okay, he developed this science about angels, different gender of angels. You know, of course, you know. Yes, but you said, you know, if I have free will, but what is I? You know, so that's the point. I think that by the time, so let's leave the scientific discussion to scientists, but let's let the Buddha take out the arrow from our back.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Even Buddha said that most essential things like karma, existence or no existence of universe, you know, something are completely unfathomable. Yeah, unfathomable. Yeah, fathom. Yeah. So the beginning of samsara, he mentioned 4 things which cannot be understood. Karma, the beginning of sentient beings. He said also 3 bodies of Buddha, but he said also the state of meditating person. He also cannot be described and understood completely. Yeah. So this don't know, it cannot be understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say, you know, to console of all of us, that we cannot understand the big ocean. Can you understand the big ocean? No. All his, you know, mysteries and everything. Can you understand?
We cannot understand
No.
this.
But can you become one with ocean? Very easy. Just buy the ticket, okay, to Pacific Ocean, and you can easily become one with Pacific Ocean. Okay, so then more about it. Okay, in fact, it is not kind of philosophy. It is so Zen practice, Buddha's practice, into transform mind of ignorance and suffering into mind of suffering, of enlightenment and liberation, to cross you to the other shore. Everybody wants to avoid suffering, and everybody wants to be happy. Okay, these 2 things are common for every human being. Okay, so the I would say revolutionary view of Buddha Dharma is that usually people want to be happy by arranging external circumstances. Maybe I go there. Maybe I buy myself something new. Maybe I marry a beautiful lady. Okay, maybe I you know. But looking for happiness, you find only temporary satisfaction. Okay. That's why Zen Master Suyun had such saying: if you want to be happy for an hour or 2, eat good meal. If you want to be happy for 1 or 2 years, get married.
Very short term.
If you want to be happy for the whole life, you know, grow the garden. But if you want to be happy for eternity, study your mind and find your true nature.
Don't tell editor that.
Which is which was the master said?
Suyun.
Suyun.
But this is probably some Chinese joke, Chinese proverb. But it comes from Dharma, of course. Yeah. So no problem. Eat good meal, get married, grow garden. No problem. But first of all, deepen, you know, your questioning mind, and find what is the true source of happiness, which means this one pure, beautiful, shiny thing, which does not depend on this impermanence of external circumstances. Okay? Attain enlightenment and help all beings.
I want to say something about the sciences. Just a quick one.
Okay.
I forgot to bring my phone because I have some notes. It's like my library, it's my notebook, everything is my phone. You know? But there's this poem by Xin Ming, I think.
Xin Ming.
Xin Ming.
About mind trust. Yes.
I'm not sure what's the name, but the 16.
The sixth patriarch, the third patriarch.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
But in one part says that the way is big and wide, not difficult, not easy, but small minds get lost, hurrying, they fall behind. So this is like science, you know. Just stop hurrying, you know, and let things come. That's supposed to come, you know. That's what brings you happiness.
Yeah.
But we still maybe not, maybe this, maybe that, you know. We just need to just let it be, you know.
So there is no reason to hurry. There is no place to hurry to, because nobody knows where the death is waiting for you. Okay. So let's enjoy our retreat and let's do our best and enjoy this wonderful practice, which is not easy but also not so difficult. Okay, it is just as it is. When you are doing what you are doing just now, no good, no bad, no difficult, no easy. Just do your pure effort. Pure effort means just do it, without any expectations. Okay? Make every moment complete. Feel the whole moment with your sincerity, by becoming one with it. Okay? Thank you so much. For Ignas. I felt him like my son. Okay? I have daughter, you know. But I always, you know, you can switch off camera, but I always, you know, I have daughter, but always missed son. Okay? Yeah, that son.
You can adopt Ignas. You can adopt Ignas.
Yeah. No, you know, I'm not a good father enough. You know? Just being friends is enough. Thank you so much.